So today we're going to install these two turn indicator LED lights. I got these from, as you can see, superbrightleds.com, model LWY 12 volt DC-K. These are 30-degree yellow LEDs. You can obviously use whatever color you like, but I'll just show you the only materials you need for this job is the set of LEDs, which come two to a package, and they have nice long leads on them. They also come with a small insert that's going to help you install them in the dash. You're also going to need two positaps for small gauge wires. Actually, you can splice into the signal wire any way you like. I'm just going to use positaps for this job, but if there's another way you like to do it, you can do it that way. And then you're going to need one ring attachment so that you can ground the other end of the LED solidly to the frame using a bolt. So I'll show you as we go along. The equipment you'll need is all the standard equipment to disassemble some simple parts of the bike, as well as some standard electrical tools, electrical tape. I prefer to solder, so I'll be soldering, but you can also use crimpers if that's what you prefer. As you'll see, there's not a lot of materials to this. This is not a complicated job. Let's get started. I'm going to be doing this to a 2009 KLR, 2008s and up. The job will be pretty much identical the whole way. Now, this bike has a couple of mods that make the job a little bit more complicated because it restricts placement of the LEDs. You can see I have an upper dash here and a lower dash here. Normal placement of the LEDs would probably be right on the sides here, but I don't have that option because of the metal plate. I'm going to put them here and here. I could put them there and there, but they're a little low below my field of vision, so I'd like to have them up here. So I'm going to put them there and there. Now, the simplest way to do this, I think, to get access to all the wiring at once, is to remove the entire front fairing as one piece. People who have the stock windshield, they could take off this plate that's in the front, exposing the back of the dash. But the job is a lot easier if you just take off the whole front, which is only held on by 6 connectors. And what I do is I don't even undo the wiring. I just take the connectors off, slide it to the front, hang it by a couple of bungees. It looks strange, but it works really well. I'll talk you through that. Let's go. Okay, now we'll slide off the whole front fairing. I hope this is, you can see what I'm doing here, but now you can see that the fairing is held close by a couple of things. One, I hope you can see this, is right there is this very soft bracket that's holding the turn signal wire, which I just pulled off that bracket. And now I'm going to do that on the other side very, very gently. And then I'm going to unplug the 2 headlight plugs. And now the whole fairing will just slide right off. Now it's hanging by just the wiring, so we're going to take the weight off that by attaching a bungee cord to the fairing and then putting that up like that. I hope that's visible. And then because that's all hanging on one, I'm going to do it again to the other side. So the fairing is secured here up to the handlebar, and secured here up to the handlebar. It can't go anywhere, but the nice thing is that that gives me full access to the back of the dash panel, and it gives me access to the turn signal lights. I've got pretty much everything I need right here. Now I hope that you can see this, but while I've got this open, this is a great time to show you a particular thing that you ought to do behind the dash panel, which is to protect this wire that goes across right here. It goes across two raised metal edges, and those can gradually wear away this wire because, of course, there's a fair amount of vibration behind the dash as you go over every bump. So this group of wires here, you can see it just has black armoring on it, and it's secured at each end with electrical tape. But that's a perfect time to do that important job. This is also a good time to show you that I'm going to be foiled in my desire to put the lights here and here. You can see that I forgot that this instrument cluster extends too far up behind here. You can do the job. You can remove the instrument cluster, but if I do that, I don't think I'm going to be able to convince anyone else that this is a pretty straightforward job. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go to plan B, which you often have to do, which is just to place the turn signals back in this area here. So we're going to drill a pilot hole in the dash right there, and then another one on the other side. So the next step is to place the plastic collar in there and click it into place. So when you're done, you'll have two holes that are ringed by these collars. So you just feed the wire through. There you go. Now it's time to tap into the signal wires. This is the right-hand one, which the wire in there that is a signal wire will be gray. And on the left-hand side here, the signal wire, which is this wire here, will be green. So I've tapped into the right-hand turn signal, and now I will add the shrink wrap. And there's a perfectly shrink-wrapped connection with using SumaTube, which is a nice high-quality shrink wrap with that has a liquid liner on the inside that provides a nice seal. And there's the other. Now the next step is to take the two ground wires, one from each bulb, run them under the dash, and then we're going to ground it on this frame bolt right here. Now as I begin to route the wires, I've done a couple things. Where the wires go over this piece of metal here, I've just wrapped them with electrical tape. I've done the same on the other side for the red, which you can see right there if you look carefully. I've also corralled the ground wire that's going to go down under the frame by sliding a piece of shrink wrap up to about where I want the two wires to come together, and then shrunk them together so they're more as one unit. I'm taking off the nut that I'm going to ground the system to. This is a 12mm nut. We need to make sure we have good ground, so we've got to remove some of the paint from the frame there, which only takes a moment, with some sandpaper. A good way to take that paint off is to take a socket extension place the 12mm socket at the end of it, wrap it with the pipe sandpaper that I'm using. You can then tape it down and basically use it as a sort of like a little Dremel. You can get your hand back in there and it works pretty well. So you can see that I've removed the paint from that, and so that's where I'll attach the ground. So the nut is on, and gave it a shot of fluid film to prevent corrosion. I've gathered up the wires so they don't go where they're not supposed to. I've loosely zip tied them to the speedometer cable, and all that's left now is to button up the bike. All that's left is to try it out. So we've got the power on, and if we turn on the left turn signal, we get this. Right turn signal, we get this. Not bad. Job well done. Take care, everybody.